Hello there, and glad to know you're keeping us company as we roll out tonight's installment of the news on Canal International, the 6:15 p.m. edition. We're coming to you live from Douala this April the 15th, but first things first, here's Kejang Henry Atembe with a summary of tonight's top stories.
A locally fabricated improvised explosive device went off yesterday on the fringes of the Nkwent market in Bamenda Free subdivision in the northwest region of Cameroon. It is now believed the bomb was planted and detonated by separatist fighters as a means of enforcing the usual Monday ghost towns. Meanwhile, down in the southwest, there are tidings of great joy at the Cameroon Development Corporation, the CDC, which has significantly contributed to a considerable rise in the country's banana exports. The agro-industrial giant exported 10,400 tons in the first quarter of 2025, its best performance in 7 years. And as the world marks World Art Day this April 15, Cameroonian artists find themselves at a crossroads, embracing artificial intelligence as a tool of innovation while grappling with the challenges of staying authentic and creative. In this edition of the news, we explore the influences of AI on contemporary art in Cameroon. Those were our headlines. The news in a split second with Anchorman Ntarike Divine, Ramsey Jr.
Welcome back. Now, since the onset of the ongoing crisis plaguing the English-speaking regions of Cameroon, Mondays have usually and generally been calm as a result of the ghost towns imposed by separatists. However, this Monday was particularly turbulent for those residing on the fringes of the Nkwent market in Bamenda as a locally fabricated bomb went off. Here's Annie Collins, Annie Sherifa Saleh.
A locally made bomb exploded Monday, April 14, outside the Nkwent market in Bamenda 3 subdivision. Though there was no human casualty, some foodstuff put on sale on roadside were scattered here and there because Monday has been a ghost town day for several years now. There is a more reason why the bomb is speculated to have been planted by separatist fighters so as to scare traders who may want to violate the ghost town idea imposed on the population since 2017. Sent by their parents to sell some food items, a young girl who happened to have been around the scene was traumatized by the loud bomb blast but was pampered by one of the market women. The municipal authorities do not officially open market's gate on Mondays. Traders in fresh food items on the market surroundings always insist on selling on such days due to the perishable nature of their goods. Residents of Bamenda also trek long distances to pick up items for the daily bread in their households.
And now, if you pay close attention to the evolution of traditional rulership and authority across Cameroon, then you should be no stranger to the fact that chieftaincy squabbles and bickerings are increasingly commonplace. In this edition of the news, we'll take you to Mbanga in the littoral region, where the appointment of a chief by administrative authorities have pushed locals to contest and even detest the choice. Here's the Maureen reporting.
In the village of Kombe Road, located in the Balong canton of the Mbanga district, the appointment of a new traditional leader has sparked significant debate. While the administrative authorities classify Kombe Road as a neighborhood, traditional leaders argue it is a village, asserting that only indigenous inhabitants should have a say in the selection of their chief. Tensions escalated during a consultation meeting held last weekend to designate a new chief. Disagreements arose over the eligibility of candidates, particularly concerning those not originally from the area. Some local dignitaries insisted that the position should be reserved for natives. In response to the growing discourse, the divisional officer of Mbanga emphasized that from the administrative standpoint, Kombe Road is considered a neighborhood, not a village. He stated that the chief should be someone with Ghanaians' unanimous support regardless of their origin.
Comme un consensus pour dire que ça c'est le chef du quartier.
To resolve the impasse, the chief of the Balong Canton intervened, highlighting the importance of unity between indigenous and non-indigenous residents of Kombe Road. Following this meditation, a consensus was reached and Protest Nama Membara was appointed as a new chief, with the remaining candidates serving as his advisors. The newly appointed chief and his advisors are now tasked with guiding the community, fostering harmony and addressing the concerns that led to the initial dispute.
And now, despite the repeated warnings and crackdowns targeting unlicensed and unauthorized dealers and vendors in medicines, the business continues to thrive and in some cases really blossom. And as pharmacies strategize on how best to tackle the situation, experts note that until the high and in some cases exorbitant cost of health care is addressed, the situation will only continue to bloom. Here's D. Maureen once again.
The sale of illicit medications continue to flourish on the streets of Cameroon despite repeated warnings from the Ministry of Public Health about the health risks to the population. Many attribute the persistence of this problem to the country's ongoing economic hardship, which have driven demand for cheaper, though often dangerous, alternatives. With just 100 francs CFA, you can get a roadside medication. The problem is not about the consequences, but if you feel at ease with what you get. They should stop the talking and take concrete actions. With graphics or pictures, the message can easily be passed to the population. A concerned resident voiced what many believe the ease to access to unregulated medications in urban and rural corners poses a direct threat to public health. Despite government's crackdowns, these street drugs remain a staple for many, particularly in low-income communities. We are here to reflect and save our profession. The continuous sale of roadside medication affects our profession. We are here to call on the authorities, the mayor and others to put an end to roadside medications. The fight should be at every level. In response to the growing crisis, the National Order of Pharmacists in Cameroon gathered last Saturday in Amphi 103 of the University of the Mountain to develop new strategies aimed at curbing the practice. Describing the issue as a long-standing hydra for public health authorities, the pharmacists called for stronger regulatory enforcement and public awareness campaigns.
And let's now head off to the markets where the country's banana exports have recorded an increase according to the latest reports. And on the sidelines of the good news, the Cameroon Development Corporation, the CDC, is said to have played a significant role, witnessing a record yield, the first in 7 years, as you tell us. Ambo Gladys Ndibang.
The Cameroon Development Corporation, the CDC, has bounced back with renewed vigor, exporting 10,400 tons of bananas in the first quarter of 2025. This marks an increase of 2,688 tons from the 7,712 tons exported during the same period in 2024, a relative increase of 34.8%. According to the Cameroon Banana Association, ASCOBACAM, this is CDC's strongest performance in the past 7 years, a sign of recovery for the agro-industrial company that has long been affected by the socio-political crisis in the country's two English-speaking regions. The company's export figures have seen a fluctuating but steadily rising trend in recent years. In 2021, CDC exported 5,317 tons of bananas. The following year, exports dropped to 4,541 tons. But in 2023, the figures rebounded to 7,289 tons, followed by 7,712 tons in 2024. The 10,400 tons exported in early 2025 marks a continued and encouraging recovery. CDC is Cameroon's second largest employer after the state and has played a pivotal role in the country's banana export industry. The corporation's recent performance has significantly contributed to a nationwide boost in banana exports. Cameroon exported a total of 57,999 tons of bananas to the international market in the first quarter of 2025, up from 51,977 tons during the same period in 2024. That's a year-on-year increase of 6,022 tons, representing 11.6% growth.
And in a bid to encourage agricultural output, the government has distributed 6 modern tractors to 4 agropoles engaged and involved in cassava and maize cultivation, cattle rearing, as well as milk production. The beneficiaries from the Center, Littoral, North, and Adamawa regions received the handouts earlier today from the hands of government officials in Yaoundé, as you tell us, Beatrice Ngamo.
The use of tractors and associated material, especially modern ones, to raise agricultural production is a way for Cameroon's development. And so,
encouraging our population to really embrace agriculture in a new manner, to be able to increase our production, increase our revenue, and improve on the living conditions of our population.
Offering these 6 new brand modern tractors covering 100 kilometer speed and more to 4 agropoles this April 15 in Yaoundé is to help the private sector create the right environment for agricultural production. 6
tractors are going to help those units in Tui, in Urodole, in Ngaoundere, in Baturi, to be able to improve the production of maize, cassava, and improve also the production of milk.
Encouragement saluted by the beneficiaries as a great booster to expand further as they receive their keys.
This material.
And you must have observed, of course, we apologize for the shaky end of that report. You must have observed that in recent months, Cameroon's urban settlements have been drowning in garbage. And as the authorities envisage a waste management summit, experts have suggested home-based sorting of household waste as a part of the solution. But up next, D. Maureen reports that uptake of the suggestion remains very timid.
In Douala, heaps of mixed waste, including organic and industrial refuse, are commonly found in public spaces, highlighting the lack of widespread waste segregation practices. Residents will engage in selective sorting reports, easier waste management, and more efficient collection processes. Experts advocate for selective sorting as a key strategy to combat urban pollution in Cameroon. By involving communities in the circular economy, households can separate compostable materials, plastic, metals, paper, glass, non-recyclable waste, batteries, and bulky items, thereby reducing street dumping. Initiatives like Douala's Recycling Challenge aim to encourage residents to sort waste at home. The city has also established the Urban Cleaning Authority to oversee waste collection and educate the public on proper waste management practices. Despite these efforts, challenges such as limited public awareness and inadequate infrastructure persist. Nonetheless, selective sorting remains a crucial step towards improving sanitation and promoting environmental sustainability in urban areas.
And today, April 15, is World Art Day, and in Cameroon, artists find themselves at a crossroads as they embrace artificial intelligence, especially as a tool for innovation, and then must face the challenges of staying authentic and creative. In the following report, sector stakeholders tell Sherifa Saleh how AI influences their work.
April 15 is no ordinary day for the global artistic community. Recognized by UNESCO and initiated by the International Association of Art, World Art Day celebrates creativity in all its forms and raises awareness of the vital role art plays in cultural and social development. In 2025, the celebration is occurring in a new context, one where artificial intelligence is no longer on the margins of artistic creation, but at its very center.
We have less consumer of this type of art, but we have more consumer of original, handmade products.
In Cameroon, a country with a vibrant tapestry of traditional and contemporary art forms, artists are cautiously adapting to artificial intelligence. Digital tools powered by AI now assist and generate original artworks through text prompts. Some artists see this as an opportunity for experimentation and expanded reach.
It gives a new opportunity to artists to produce with a new medium that could be transferable via internet.
But not everyone is optimistic. For many traditional artists and artisans, AI poses a threat to originality, cultural heritage, and employment.
A human will always make something higher than a computer.
As AI continues to challenge all definitions of creativity, Cameroonian artists are proving the adaptation, not resistance, may be the key to survival.
And beyond Cameroon, to wrap up this edition, we move westwards to Senegal, where former President Macky Sall could soon stand trial on charges of high treason. An MP with the country's ruling party has filed a motion in those regards at Senegal's National Assembly. Guy Marius Sagna accuses Macky Sall of falsifying figures of the country's public debt during his time in office, and that's between 2012 and 2024. The MP says a hidden debt of $7 billion has been discovered. According to him, any debts incurred outside of the legal and official circuits, adding to management opacity, endanger Senegal's financial sovereignty, and so Macky Sall should stand trial for high treason. And at over 30 minutes after 6 p.m., that's where we call it quits for this edition. Thanks once again for the privilege of your company. Join us same time, same place, tomorrow. Stay safe and run from trouble on the double as always. Bye-bye.